Shalom, welcome to my channel, the Hebrew Bible. This is Moses Gumadi, and in this video we'll talk about the names, the parasha of the names, or the book of Exodus. It's actually named Shemoth in Hebrew, which is why I'm saying names. Why is this named Shemoth? Whereas in English we have Exodus. Exodus comes from the Greek word, the translation of the Hebrew Bible into Greek, so they picked up from there. It's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, etc. But the actual name of the book is Shemoth, and that comes from the first words itself. We read here, Ve'elle Shemoth bnei Yisrael habba'im Mitzrayma et Yaakov ish uveto ba'u. These are the names of the sons of Israel who came to Egypt, right? With Jacob, man with his family, he came, right? So they came. Each man in his household came. So these are the names that are listed actually. If you read verse 2, verse 3, these are the names that are listed in this order. So I'll go to Reuven, this is Reuben, Shimon, Simeon, Levi, or Levi. Notice that, see, if you remove these vowels, some people say, oh, there are no vowels. If you remove the vowels, then you could read this as Louis or Loi. That's not Levi, okay? So, and this is Yehuda, Judah. And look at this. This is Yishachar. Yishachar, you're not going to pronounce this letter Shin. Issachar, actually, it's not Ishachar, it's Issachar. So this is a sin with a dot on the left, and there is a dagesh. And this letter, there is no vowel, and this is an exception. You know, we just have to treat this as a silent word. This is not a standard grammatical rule, but it is an exception, just as in English in some cases we have exceptions. This is pronounced as Issachar. Issachar. Zevulun. That's the Jebulun or Jebulun. Yosef. That is Joseph. Joseph is not mentioned. Actually, 11 names are mentioned. And then it is said that Joseph was already there in Egypt. Okay, he did not come. So these 11 came with their houses. Binyamin. So this is the son of the right hand, Binyamin. Okay, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher. Okay, these are the names. So why are the names given? Don't we already know? Well, the lot of names given. Why is the book of Exodus called Shemoth? Because it gives you the names, but not only the names of the patriarchs, but also other names which are going to go shortly. It's not that the book of Exodus is really a book of names as such, in the sense that it's the book of 1 Chronicles that has the most number of names, whether you take the total number of names or unique number of names. It's the book of 1 Chronicles, and then comes Genesis. These are the books that have most names. Exodus probably comes somewhere rank 11 or something in the books of the Bible. And therefore, from a frequency point of view, or the number of names point of view, Exodus is not the book that contains all the names. But interestingly, it begins like this. Okay. Couple of other names that are mentioned in verse 11. Let's read. Vayasimu alav sare misim lema'an annotho besivlotam vayiven are miskenot leparo et pitom ve et Ramses. Okay. So here we have the officers. They set upon them Sare Misim, the officers of the rulers of tribute, tax, to oppress them. So here some translations read them as a lot of work, like bonded labor. That is true. but that is also a tax. Tax in their produce is being extracted. That's how it is in the Hebrew. To oppress them in their burdens, and they built storage cities, Are Miskenoth, storage cities, Lefaro, or you can say cities of treasures, some translations. Et Pithom et Ramses. Pithom and Ramses are the cities they built to Pharaoh. These are the names. Pithom is apparently the approximation of the Egyptian P or Per. Atum. Atum is one of the names of their gods. Okay, Atum is Pithom. Similarly, Ramses is Ra. They have a god Ra. Messe, so, something like that. So, Moshe, the word Moshe and this Mem Sin are related, okay, because we have Tut Mose, Mase. So that Mas root here in the Egyptian means taken out of him. Ra, from taken out of Ra, or something like that. That's the meaning. And this P is the city. That's a prefix, but P doesn't occur here, or Per, PR. It doesn't occur here. So these are the two cities. Okay. What's the significance? Why are these mentioned? Interestingly, one of the names that is not mentioned, except that is called Pharaoh, is the new king that came. His name is not mentioned. He's just called Pharaoh. A new king came. His name is not mentioned. Now, Exodus chapter 1 verse 15, we have two more names. Interestingly, these names are mentioned of two women, two midwives. Vayomer Melech Mitzrayim. You see, notice that it doesn't say Paro here. Melech Mitzrayim, the king of Egypt. Meaning, the verse is written in such a way that his name is avoided. But the women's names are mentioned. Interesting. Vayomer Melech Mitzrayim Lam Yalledot. Lam Yalledot. Meyalledot are the midwives. Okay. Meyaledet is midwife. Meyalledot is midwives. And the king of Egypt said to Lam Yalledot, means to the midwives, Ha-Ivriot, the Hebrew midwives. Lam Yalledot Ha-Ivriot. Asher Shem Ha-Achad Shifra. One of the name of the one is Shifra. Veshem Ha-Shenit Pua. And the name of the second is Pua. Shifra and Pua. These two names are mentioned. Shifra means it comes from the root Shafara, and that is bright, or to be bright, or to garnish. To garnish is the, or to decorate, or to make it fair. That's the word. So bright and fair. And Pua it could have a root meaning linked to the mouth. Pe. Pua is also mouth, but also is translated as a splendid. Okay. That's the meaning. It occurs only once, this one. Shifra, the shafar, you can find this root elsewhere in the Bible. Splendid in the mouth, bright and fair. So they spoke really splendidly, the mouth. Why? Because they spoke very well. You see, what they said was in Exodus chapter 1 verse 19. Well, Pharaoh called them, the king of Egypt called them and said, hey, you're going to kill the children. If they are, when the Hebrew women give birth, and if that's a male, you kill the child, and if it is a female, you keep it, right? So that's the command. And they feared God, it says in the text. They feared God, and they did not do as Pharaoh had said. And so Pharaoh called and they said, why did you not do according to my word? Then they replied, that's the mouth, okay, splendid mouth. This is the reply. What tomarna? And they said tomarna, plural, and with feminine. Ham Yalledot, the midwives, El Paro, to Pharaoh, Ki lo nashim ham mitzriot ha-ivriot. The nashim, the women the Hebrew women are not like the women of the Egyptian women. That's what he's saying here. They're saying, Kilo kanashim ham-mitzriot ha-ivriot. They are not like the nashim ham-mitzriot, means the women of Egyptians. So they are not like the Egyptian women. Who are not like the Egyptian women? The Ivriot, the Hebrew women. Ki hayot henna. They are hayot. This word this word is also used for animals. Can you imagine? Henna. But actually it means chai. Chai means life. Hayot means lively. It's translated as vigorous here. Hayot henna. They are lively. Beterem tavo alehen. Before. Beterem tavo alehen ham yeledet. Ham yeledet, this is singular. Ham yeledot is plural. See this that, dot. Okay, now if you get rid of the vowels, you're not going to get the meaning. This is why I've been saying, please learn the vowels. Vowels are important. Okay, same word here. He, mem, yod, lamed, dalet, tav. He, mem, yod, lamed, dalet, tav. Okay, so just one vowel is changed and you get a different meaning in the plural and the singular. Ham yaledet ve yaladu. So before the midwife, beterem tavo alehen ham yaledet ve yaladu. Before the midwife comes to them, they give birth. Why? Because they are hayot. They are lively. So it's a double meaning. Apparently, I don't know. I'm just trying to make up things here. It's not really making up. Hayot. You have hayot. If I just put a Vadagai hayot, can mean animal. It is used for animals, but it is also used for living. Like, for example, there are two birds, Supporot, hayot, meaning the birds, the living birds are called hayot, is an adjective, living. Here, hayot are living or lively, so they're lively. So I think what Pua is really saying, the splendid mouth and the bright and fair, these ladies, what they're saying is they're giving a lot of a double meaning. They're saying, hey, you know what, our women are very lively. That's a positive thing they're saying, but they're making it sound to Pharaoh like, hey, they're like animals, so you don't need the help of the midwives to give them delivery. Animals don't need midwives. So I don't know, maybe she's like, they're like playing it, giving it a double meaning. So Pharaoh gets what he wanted and they describe what they want to describe. Yeah, so they describe it positively. Pharaoh gets it negatively. And then Pharaoh says nothing and he lets them go. And God made them great. They made them houses, it says. And he basically settled them. It's a very nice reward that he gave them. Okay, another name, of course, is Moshe. Vaigdal Hayeled. The child grew. Vateviehu Lavat Paro, and he was brought to the daughter of Pharaoh by Hilah Leven, and he became a son to her. Vatikra Shmo Moshe, and she called his name Moshe. Vatomer, and she said, Ki min hamayim meshithihu, for I have taken him out of water. Therefore she called him Moshe. So here we have these two words, Moshe, meshithihu. Meshithihu, who is him, right? Meshithi, that is, I have drawn. So the Meshithi comes from the word Masha, means he drew in the past. If you get rid of these vowels, then Memshin He is to draw. Okay, Moshe is Moses, of course. That's my name. Now that's the name that's introduced in the Shemoth, and of course we have the greatest name that is revealed in the book of Exodus, in the book of Shemoth. In Exodus chapter 3 verse 15, Vayomer od Elohim el Moshe, and God said again, or something said more to Moses, Ko tomar el bnei Yisrael, say like this to the sons of Israel, Yod he vav he, Hashem, Adonai, this name, Yod he vav he, Elohei avotechem, is the God of your fathers, Elohei Avraham, God of Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, God of Jacob, God of Isaac, Ve Elohei Yaakov, and the God of Jacob. Shalachani alechem, He has sent me. Ze Shemi Leolam. This is my name forever. What? That. Ze Shemi Leolam. Veze Zechiri Ledor Dor. And this is how I am remembered, or Zechiri means my mention, forever and ever, for all generations, for Dor with Dor. So this is the name of the God of Israel, Ze Shemi Leolam, for forever, for this is forever, okay, this name, YHVH. And therefore you cannot demand the children of Israel to believe in God by another name, and say another name by which they have not been revealed. Right? You cannot say, according to Acts chapter 4 verse 12, that there is none other name given under heaven among men whereby you must be saved. Come on. This is the name that was given. If you do this, anybody doing this will be violating Deuteronomy chapter 13 verse 1 to 5. And I'll tell you, I'm not a Jew, but I studied the Tanach, I studied the New Testament. Based on what I have found in the Holy Scriptures, in the Hebrew Bible, okay, this name, YHWH, occurs 6,828 times. This is the name with which God has a covenant with Israel. You should not and cannot demand them to confess another name and say that unless you confess another name, you haven't got salvation. You don't do that. If you do that, you violate Deuteronomy chapter 13, verses 1 to 5. And I tell this especially to Messianic Jews. Don't do this. Stop. You believe whatever you want. Don't evangelize the Jews. If you do that, you are working against Hashem. YHWH. This is the name that is given, YHWH. Some people are commenting, hey, why are you not pronouncing? Well, I can't pronounce this one because there is no cholam. This is how it is pronounced. You say, well, it is pronounced as YHOVH. That is true in some cases. I'm going to show you statistics. But most of the times, this name, the dot on the top is removed. It's not put. Okay? So then you may say, well, the Tiberians removed it. Well, if the Tiberians did not put the vowels, so how come you're going to know the pronunciation, right? You don't know the pronunciation in any case. So you can't demand me to pronounce YHOVH, although I do believe that's the pronunciation. But I don't, because they have removed the dot so that we don't pronounce it. These are the number of times we see the pronunciations. The most frequent here, 5,680 out of the 6,828 times. This is the pronunciation. There's no cholam. No cholam here. No cholam here, 789. Cholam is there in this 6 and 46. Okay. Here, there is no vowel because there is mostly a bet or a lamed or a mem and these prefixes, and therefore there is no vowel here. Okay, so even when there's a bet, it says a ba, so you pronounce this Adonai. So here only 46 times you have this pronunciation YHWH. This is only there 46 times, and the corresponding is 32 here, and then this one, if you count, this is 33. That's it. The remaining ones don't have cholam. Why? I don't know. They put it. That's what they've done. Obviously, to tell us not to pronounce. Okay, thank you for watching. That's the meaning of the book of Exodus. Why the book of names, the greatest name is revealed. Please do like this video, comment below, subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon. Also forward it to your friends. And I will see you with another video as soon as I can. Thank you very much.